Hi, I'm Vernon L. Bowling, and welcome to another edition of Focus. As I hope you know, Focus has been on the air for over 40 years. We've been continuing to bring you, the African American community, problems, accomplishments, as well as successes that we've had within the African American community. Don't touch that remote. Matter of fact, you can get your pencils or papers together and write down some information that we're going to give to you that's going to be very important that you probably can use later. We'll be right back with more Focus after these messages.
Here at the Audubon Center, we connect inner-city children with nature.
Before I came to Audubon, I didn't think about the environment.
I see children discovering a universe that wasn't available to them if the center wasn't here.
This place teaches you so much. If there wasn't a place like this, I think a lot of people would be missing out.
We count on the lottery to help us fund our programs for K-12 students. We need more friends like the lottery in the community.
A poem by Nikki Giovanni entitled, I Take MasterCard, Charge Your Love to Me. I've heard all the stories about how you don't deserve me because I'm so strong and beautiful and wonderful, and you could never live up to what you know I should have. But I just want to let you know, I take MasterCard. You can love me as much as your heart can stand, then put the rest on account and pay the interest each month until we get this settled. You see, we modern women do comprehend that we deserve a whole lot more than what is normally being offered, but we are trying to get aligned with the modern world. So baby, you can love me all you like because you're pre-approved, and you don't have to sign on the bottom line. Charge it up till we just can't take no more. It's the modern way. I take MasterCard to see your visa. And I deal with a discovery, but I don't want any American Express, because like the Pointer Sisters say, I need a slow hand.
I have been out in the sun since 6 o'clock this morning with my hands in the dirt. And I looked out at my yard and there was grass that was overgrown. And I got a little upset at first because my landscaper didn't come. But then I remembered Dr. Adero and this incredible video that she did on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And she was showing us all of the weeds that are edible in our yards. And I was so happy that I didn't cut my grass. Joining me now is Dr. Adero, a naturopathic physician and a local icon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad. As soon as I saw that video, I said, no, I have to get her on. I see you all the time. We used to work out together.
I know.
Yeah, what happened? But we won't talk about that. That's not what we're here. But I was so happy to see that video because I said, wow, there are things growing in my yard that I can eat without even trying. I know a lot of people out here have these incredible gardens, and that's good. You keep those gardens up. For those of you like me who really don't trust my skills with the garden, I can go to the weeds.
Yes, you can.
And you're going to show us that a little later. You're going to show us some things that are growing in my yard that's probably growing in yours that you can eat. Mm-hmm. So first of all, Doctor, tell me, what is the difference between an MD and a naturopathic physician?
I am trained as a primary care physician, but with the added benefit of knowing the holistic therapies as well.
Now, there's a big difference with you as well in regards to the herbal piece, because I know a lot of incredible naturopathic physicians, but very few, if hardly any, really know the herbs the way you do. Why and how did you get interested in that?
Wow, so that's been like kind of a journey, just because I feel like it's my background. As far as like the NDs, all of us are trained in botanical medicine to some degree. We all have to take that class. So most of us know about herbs to take, but a lot of NDs gravitate towards like the the pre-made formulations like the capsules and like kind of the synthetic nutrients like the man-made supplements, and that's fine. They have their place. But for me, my background, my whole family's from South Carolina, Gullah. They would live on the Sea Islands, and then even those that moved to the mainland, they still kind of carried those traditions. And what they call like herbal medicine, root medicine, that was a big part of the Gullah culture. So I grew up, even though unfortunately, when I was younger, I wasn't as interested in the herbalism, but I saw it. You know, I saw people using bitters. I saw people talking about, you know, a dog fender and using weeds that you could get out in the forest or in your backyard. So that always was kind of with me. And then as I got older and I saw people suffering from ailments that conventional medicine couldn't really address properly, I decided that, oh, maybe I should pick this back up. And then it just kind of flourished from there.
So I know why I would go to a naturopathic physician, but actually I do both. I do naturopathy and I also go to a medical doctor. But with you, I get two in one.
Right.
So I get that. But why would one, if they're not anywhere near you, if they can't access you, why would one choose a naturopath over a medical doctor?
Well, it's pretty much what you said. You can get the two doctors in one. So you have somebody who is classically trained in what we call Western conventional medicine.
So you're saying all naturopaths are classically trained?
Oh yeah. So we all go through the same curriculum as the people who are studying to become an MD. We have the same curriculum, and then we have to go through the same board of licensure when we take our exams. The only thing is that we have added onto that classic curriculum the natural therapies. So with the ND, you really are getting two doctors in one. But, you know, everyone practices differently. Their approach is differently. Like you said, some people don't use the herbs. Some people, you know, have more, we call it green allopathy, which is green allopathy, kind of using supplements the same that people would use prescriptions. And, you know, they all have their place. But if somebody is looking to have options on whether or not they would want to take a prescription or take an herbal, if they don't want to do any kind of chemicals, an ND would be a good person to give them the most appropriate approach for what they want health-wise.
So why would you choose the herb over the... And I know,
yes,
but I want you to tell the world.
I'll explain that. So as far as why choose one over the other, the herbal route versus the chemical drug route? Yes, the chemical drugs do tend to kind of turn off the body. That's the way that I look at them. So it does make the symptoms go away quicker. Whereas if you take an herb, you have to be consistent with a lot of them before you actually see the benefits of them. So here's where I see, you know, all the branches of medicine having their place. You know, thank goodness for, you know, like some certain antibiotics and, you know, procedures that are good for trauma. And like say with a diabetic, if somebody went into a diabetic coma, I'm not going to give them Gymnema or bitter melon. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to tell them to take the person to the hospital and they need insulin. You know, I'm not going to try to use herbs. So I think everything has their place. But if somebody is like pre-diabetic, or if somebody has been diagnosed with diabetes and they're not in any immediate trauma, you know, or danger, or any condition, if they're not in any immediate danger health-wise, it would be a better idea to change the diet and then take the herbs that will support them, because not only are the herbs going to get to the root cause, whereas the chemical drugs go straight to the symptoms, they're not going to have the side effects that a lot of those drugs come along with. So that is the reason why most people choose to go the herbal route as versus the drug route, because they don't want the side effects. Because eventually you're going to have to start taking medications on top of medications for the side effects of the side effects of the side effects. So herbs just don't give you that. They heal. You know, they work with the body. They treat the cause, and that's why I feel it's a better approach if you can catch it.
Now there are some natural herbs that are grown right here in Arizona, lots of them.
Yes.
When we come back, we're going to talk about what a real good, healthy course of action is for us. I mean, not only food and exercise, but what are the herbs that we need to have in our medicine cabinet? That's something that we all want to know when we come back.
Here at the Audubon Center, we connect inner city children with nature.
Before I came to Audubon, I didn't think about the environment.
I see children discovering a universe that wasn't available to them if this center wasn't here.
This place teaches you so much. If there wasn't a place like this, I think a lot of people would be missing out.
We count on the lottery to help us fund our programs for K through 12 students. We need more friends like the lottery in the community.
Welcome back. With me today is Dr. Adero, and we are talking about natural health, natural healing, and some of the herbs that we can find right in our backyard.
Yes.
As weeds. Now we're going to go out a little later and we're going to take a look at some of the ones that I have in my yard. But before we go, what we left with was, what is a healthy way of living? And I'm speaking specifically with herbs because we already know exercise and we already know that we need to be working on the foods that we eat. But what are some of the herbs that we really need to have in our medicine cabinet, and what would be the use for them?
Oh wow, there's so many. There's so
Just
many herbs.
give
Yeah.
me some basic, like
Sure.
everybody has Tylenol in their
Right.
medicine cabinet. So what are the alternatives for that? What about headaches? What about dizziness?
Sure.
Things like that. Stomach
Yeah,
aches.
common ailments, right. So for aspirin or any kind of ibuprofen, anti-inflammatory, or NSAID, if you're a person that does suffer from headaches, or if you're a person that has like pains that you take ibuprofen and aspirin for, white willow bark, you can make teas with it. You can get it in a tincture. You can get it in like a powdered form in a capsule, and that can be taken.
And the tincture is a liquid.
Tincture is a liquid,
It comes in a little bottle with a little thing.
With a dropper,
with
it's an alcohol extract, right? And you can get glycerites too if you don't do alcohol. White willow bark for pain, and then also for just for overall inflammation and just keeping the inflammatory response in the body correct and proper. Turmeric, great spice and herbal to use. And a lot of people are getting more hip to turmeric and using turmeric.
Now, in using turmeric, is it using it on your food as
Yes.
a spice? Is that good enough, or do you really
Yes.
need to use it as a tea or something?
You can use it throughout the food that you eat. Really, just because it doesn't have such it's not a very pungent spice. It actually has a very mild flavor. You can just go to town and put it in all the foods that you eat. If you have something more chronic that requires more of a oomph, you can take the curcumin in a capsule form. But so you can keep it in a capsule form, but also put it in your food, because there's something that happens when turmeric is cooked that allows it to release a lot more of its properties. And then also the addition of black pepper with turmeric helps it to, and they're not really sure what it is, but it just something about the pepperine in pepper. It helps the turmeric to react better in the body. So just cooking it just does more.
And what is it good for again? What is
Inflammation. Inflammation is also very antioxidant and it helps with like tumor growth and cancerous growth. So it's very, very good for that. Another are mints. Mints are really good to have around. Mints of all kinds. So not just like spearmint and the mints
Peppermint.
that you peppermint and things, but also things like oregano. Oregano is technically in the mint family, but it is a very potent mint. It is antimicrobial, like across the board. It's kind of like a very broad spectrum antimicrobial, so it's very good for fungal infections, and that's something that a lot of people in Arizona get infected with, is fungal respiratory infections that are very difficult to eradicate. But something about oregano, it just kind of dispels spores.
And so that's once again on the food, or is that as a tea?
Right, you can use it as a tea. You can put it in the food again.
So you just steep it, boil some water, put it in it, put the dried oregano.
Like a teaspoon. I like to say a teaspoon per cup. So you take a teaspoon of the dry herb leaf and then put it in a hot cup of water. Never boil leaves, any flower tops, because it'll denature the constituents in the plant. So you can make oregano tea if you're like coming down with a respiratory infection, or you have any kind of, even if you have like yeast infections, any infection, sour stomach because you ate something like food poisoning. Oregano is a great antimicrobial across the board.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So what about stomach aches?
Stomach aches. there are plenty of herbs. Chamomile, I love for stomach aches.
And that also, chamomile is also good to relax you and to help you go to sleep.
It's a great effect on the nervous system.
What about children? Is chamomile okay for kids?
Absolutely. I recommend chamomile for children all the time, and I also recommend it to colicky infants. So if you have a baby that's still being breastfed, especially, you don't want to give like a child a cup, like a little baby, a cup of tea. They can't really.
But you can drink it.
But you can drink it as the breastfeeding mother, and then the constituents of the chamomile will actually come out into your milk. So they're feeding, and then they're also getting that calming, the calming effect of the chamomile, and then that chamomile is also dispelling the gas and the digestive distress that causes the colic. So chamomile is great across the board.
And once again, chamomile is also good for relaxing and putting you to sleep.
Yes.
Now what about so we did headaches? Did we do headaches?
We did headaches.
Yeah,
that was the white willow bug.
Yeah, the white willow bug. That was the very first thing we did. So what about the common cold? Everyone is coming, and they're always pushing these drugs on everyone.
Yes.
The flu is coming up. Take a flu medication. Right. So what do you recommend for the common cold?
For the common cold, flus, all bugs that come with the seasons, I recommend elderberry, leaf and the berry. And the reason I say that, everybody goes towards like echinacea and things like that, but actually elderberry has been used more traditionally for colds and flus and viral and bacterial infections. So elderberry, again, can be made into a tea. You steep the leaf, 1 teaspoon per cup of water in the hot water and make you a tea that way. But the berries, if you get the berries and make tea with that, you actually can boil those berries and make a decoction. And then that's something that you can take. If you make it very strong, you can kind of take it by the tablespoon each day, and it soothes the throat. So if there's a scratchy, dry throat that are associated with the respiratory infection, you can take it that way. And then it's gentle enough to where children can take it. It's not something that anybody can overdose on. It boosts the immune system. It stimulates and increases the white blood cells that are supposed to be, killing off the microbes. It's elderberry. I think elderberry is like one of the most underestimated herbs, and I think everyone should have it.
Wait, I hear some sisters out there talking about cramps. They're screaming, cramps. What about cramps? Cramps. What about cramps? What about cramps?
Oh my goodness. Okay, cramping. So one of the best herbs. So now we're talking about herbs that work fast, right? Because we were kind of talking about that, right? So cramp bark is one of the best herbs for cramping, hence the name, because it is a muscle relaxant, but it has an affinity for the uterus. For whatever reason, it just naturally does that. Also, red raspberry can be paired with it because it is a uterine tonic. A lot of times we get cramps because our hormones are not in balance. There's inflammation, and red raspberry has the nutrients that the uterus needs in order to be more tonified, but it also helps balance hormones. So red raspberry, cramp bark, and then also I would recommend Damiana. Damiana is a great, it's just a female reproductive hormone, a female reproductive system tonifier in general. So it helps with the ovaries and the uterus. Damiana most of the time comes in a powdered form, so the leaves have already been ground. And that's a really good way to take it because you have to take not a lot, but you need to have a good dose so that you can feel the effects. And some women actually feel the effects of Damiana within hours of taking it.
I've heard.
Yeah.
And you know who you are.
Ah.
One of my buddies who takes Damiana, and she swears by it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a whole nother kind of show that we would have to talk about Damiana on. So, but she swears by it.
Yeah,
so,
it's great. So I would recommend Damiana.
I think I'm going to start that.
Recommend Damiana, and I gave you some today too.
Oh, I love you.
Yes.
Okay, quick, because we got to go. Tell me what we got here.
Okay.
Real quick.
So here
we have some cat's claw.
Yes. Or actually,
some devil's claw. Cat's claw.
Devil's claw.
I got some cat's claw in my window, in my yard.
Yes.
And you said that's good for.
That's good for GI inflammation. So if you have Crohn's, IBS, anything where there's a disturbed bowel.
And this is
devil's claw.
Devil's claw. Look at
hence
that.
the name,
And there's a little pebbles and stuff that's inside
so
that.
this is the seed pod. The seed pod of
pod.
devil's claw. So the seeds come in there, and this is native to the high desert as well. So you use devil's claw for any kind of like rheumatism. So things like arthritis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, any kind of pain symptoms in the joints and the musculoskeletal system. Very good for that. It's also a bitter, so it helps with the digestion as well. So
Okay, and these are things you took out of your yard.
yeah, this is what I had in my yard. It's a little moist because I wanted to keep them as lively as
How
possible.
cool! And now I see this growing right in my front right now.
Exactly.
And I always pull it out and throw it away.
Yep. So
I can eat it.
You can eat it.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I'll
to
go
shop.
through.
Anything to stop from shopping.
I know, right?
Did you really? Next time, bring them over. I'll make a salad for you.
So that is the prickly lettuce. So this grows wild everywhere.
You've seen this. It's right in my. It's growing out of a pot right now.
Right,
It's just
exactly.
growing. I let it stay.
And
'cause
you can
looks
use
pretty.
it. You can use it like a green. You can identify it because of this tooth, the jagged
So I can eat a piece of this right now.
Yep. Just be careful with the spines on the back because you see the spines.
It kind of tastes like arugula.
Yeah, it's a little peppery, like spicy. Yeah, but you can use it like any other green. Most of the things that I'm going to show are just those like wild lettuces. This is mallow. This is another one that you probably see all
This was
over.
in my yard too. Could
Exactly.
you show this to me? This is
Yes.
mallow. And what is this used for?
Mallow is another green, so you can use this just
For a
like
salad?
a green. You can pluck the little leaves off of the main stem and put it in like a salad. Yes. How's that taste?
This is good.
Yep, it's a lettuce. I'm
It's
telling
not. It's
you.
not bitter like this one.
Nope, because
Oh, this is good.
Yes.
Can I eat the flower?
you can't eat the flowers.
Because there's some wonderful tasting flowers out
Mm-hmm.
there. I'm hungry. Can you tell?
And then and then this is mesquite.
What we
Be
got here?
careful. Be careful with the spines. Yeah.
Mesquite. That's the big tree that's right outside my yard.
Right.
In my neighbor's yard. It's hanging over mine, so that's mine.
Yep, and mesquite is
We
another
can eat this too?
is another edible native plant to this area, and you can notice it by the leaves, the little leaves here. So they're a little wilted, but mesquite is phenomenal. You can eat the whole entire plant. It actually the most popular part of the plant
That's
to
good.
eat
That's
is the pods. So
Oh, not that.
they're little flowers. No,
Not
but you
what-
can eat the
not what I just said.
You can eat the leaves. You can eat the leaves like a green. No, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, cool.
But it also
It's
has
good though.
um,
It tastes good.
yeah.
Did you know that you could eat mesquite? Now, everybody out there from Arizona is saying, yeah, Fatima, we know. I'm from New York. So
Right.
New Yorkers and those of us from the East Coast and California, maybe California would know.
right.
This is mesquite. It's growing in the yard somewhere,
Right.
and you can eat it.
You can eat it. And the pods are the most popular part of the mesquite because they have this caramel toffee-like flavor. So if you're, looking to make like healthy, like caramel-like desserts and things, vegan desserts, use the powdered pods, the dry powdered pods.
So I could dry them in my
You can dry
dehydrator
them yourself,
and
yes.
then how would I mix it to make it into like a? 'cause
You would
I
grind
love
it
caramel.
down in like a coffee grinder to make a
Oh,
powder,
okay,
and
cool.
then just add it to your desserts to make it taste more like that toffee-like taste.
And there you go. We're going to go in the backyard and see what I have that we could use for food. Okay? You going to show me?
I am.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Okay, so what do we have here? What is this something right here?
Yes. So
What is
this is some of the prickly lettuce that I showed you. This is like a small baby one.
Okay.
But this is the same, and you can tell because of the tooth leaves, and then on the back it has these little spines that are not very sharp. But I wouldn't consume those. I would just take these leaves off of the main stem and then consume it that way.
Okay, and what do we have here? You said that this is something as well.
Over here we have a mallow. Again, it's smaller, but it's the same. You can tell by the leaves they have like this, again, like kind of that tooth, but it's more like, it's kind of like a gotu kola that is more serrated. That's the way it looks.
So is this healthy or is it just tasty?
Well, it's healthy too because like all other lettuces, they usually contain a lot of B vitamins, vitamin C, other antioxidants, essential oils. So it's like any green. And of course you have the chlorophyll aspect, and they've been out in the sun.
That's nothing, right?
So
Now this is cat's claw, and I have
Yes.
plenty of it. Now what can I do with this? Because I'm
Okay.
always cutting it down and throwing it away.
So cat's claw is an excellent herb. It's not native to Arizona, but because it grows well here, I see it all over the place. It's good for calming the nervous system as well. So it is actually gentle enough to give to children, and it also has an affinity for the GI tract. So again, if you have any kind of inflammatory bowel syndrome, Crohn's, any kind of inflammation of the gut, you can take a tea of the dry herb of this plant, and it will be very helpful.
So you would, for those of you who don't have a dehydrator, you would put this in the oven or let it just dry out. Just cut it
Arizona
off
is dry
and
enough.
just put it
Yes.
outside and let
Yes.
it. Aren't you kind of close?
Yep.
Tony?
Yep.
Okay, and this is in HD too. But anyway, you could dry the herb outside in the sun,
Yes.
or if you have a dehydrator, you can put it in your dehydrator, or you put it in the oven if you just want to do something really quickly.
Right.
And then just let it dry out, and then you would use it as a tea.
Right.
Right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
it's exciting. So I have so much
You
of
have
that.
a bunch of cat's claw.
Yeah, I sure
Wonderful.
do. So it's for sale if anybody wants to buy some cat's claw. Now this I never wanted to take up because I always thought it looked pretty amongst
Yes,
the rocks.
it is
But
pretty.
after a while I have to, But so you're saying that this is something I can eat?
Yeah, that's lamb's quarters. It's a young one. They can get taller and bushier than this.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and then of course if we get more rain, it'll get bushy too. But again, this is just another one of those wild lettuce that you can eat. So you can put in salads. You can eat it pretty much the way you would any lettuce. And again, full of B vitamins, antioxidants, chlorophyll. Very good for you.
Okay. Okay, so now let's go over here and look at this mesquite tree.
Yes.
Now this is on my neighbor's side, but I am obviously benefiting from it
Yes.
because here, this is my grandchildren playing pong,
Oh, okay.
some kind of pong.
Yes.
It's not beer pong because they're too young.
So
What is that?
So your yard has been infiltrated by some of the mesquite that has dropped down, and these are like very, very young. It's going to take years for them to become a big tree like that. But again, mesquite is a phenomenal plant because again you can use the whole thing. It's full of B vitamins, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, and then it's also a really good source of lysine. And lysine is good for like viral infections. So people that have like HIV, herpes, colds, flus, anything that's caused by a virus would benefit from using the whole plant of mesquite.
Okay, so
Yes.
so what you're saying is that I can just pull this out of the ground right now, dry
Yes.
it out,
Yes.
make a tea,
Yes.
and then it would be good for all of those viral infections that
Yes.
you were referring to.
Yes.
How incredible is that?
Yes.
So, and here's the tree that it comes from. Here's the mother. As I said, it's over in my neighbor's yard, but this side is on my side.
Right.
So if I wanted to just cut a piece for me, I can do that.
Hey.
Because it's on my side. Okay, we're going to go back inside and we're going to talk a little bit more.
Yes.
Okay?
All right.
Cool. This is exciting. Oh my God, look at this. I have like dinner in my backyard.
You do. I'm telling you.
Well, you got it. You got food right in your backyard. Thank you, Dr. Adero, for coming through, and I'm hoping that you come back and join us
Oh, of
again
course.
because you got a whole lot of information that we certainly need. And thank you for joining us. And remember, just look in your backyard if you're hungry and you don't feel like going to the store. There's some weeds that you might be able to eat.
All right.
Okay. See you soon. Be focused.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of Focus. And if you'd like to contact us, if there's a topic you'd like to see us present or someone you'd like us to talk to, the information is right up on the screen. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week, same station, same time, when Focus continues.